Welcome to the 3 Knockdown Rule. Starring Mario Lopez and Steve Kim. Presented by Hustler Casino.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our show on YouTube. It's fun. It's funny. I break this guy's balls. His wig looks crazy every week, but it's still worth doing it. Check out these badass shows we got right now. Check it out.
Even though Mario's on it, you'll still learn something, and it's still some insightful analysis. And then I bring the funny, and I don't know what he brings.
No.
What are you talking about? I'm the star of the show here.
You bring the grumpy.
Oh, but the grumpy. Anyway, like and subscribe.
Yes,
3
please.
Knockdown
We
Rule.
appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 Knockdown Rule is in effect, brought to you by Hustler Casino. I'm Steve Kim, joined by Metropole Mario Lopez. Good time Friday.
That's an inside baseball thing right there. We'll explain to that. We'll get on that a little bit later. Very good time. That's why I'm sounding like Don Corleone still a few days later. And shout out to Smoking Tim Frazier on the ones and twos.
We've got a jam-packed and funny show returning on the championship hotline. The Desert Storm, Tim Bradley, and we have Final Flurries.
Listen up. If you're in the market right now for GLP-1s, well, then you need to listen because a lot of companies on the market are expensive, and worse, the amount of meds they ship is 1/3 of what you need. To top it off, the meds are made outside of the U.S., so you don't know what you're getting. They've got ratings online, and they raise prices. They've got no ratings, I should say, and they raise prices after the first month. LifeRx's prices, always the same. There's no auto building. Meds come from FDA-registered pharmacies, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews. These guys are really, really good, and that's why I recommend them. So click the button below, get on a call, find out for yourself. You got nothing to lose.
And folks, this podcast is brought to you by Hustler Casino. Starting September 1st, all Cal games and jackpots are doubling in size every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all day long. Love Baccarat, 3-card poker, blackjack, and other Cal games. Now's the perfect time to play and win double the jackpot. Stop by, get in the game, and see how big you can win at Hustler Casino, or find out more at hustlercasino.com. Right when we come back, he's all queued up and ready to go. The Desert Storm, Tim Bradley, joins the 3 Knockdown Rule.
Streaming live right on YouTube.
Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
$1.2 million.
And I'm losing in this fucking game. What the fuck?
There's a 400K flip. If I win by way, you get 10 grand. For my fans.
Wow. All in a call.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Raise it up.
And we're back on the 3 Knockdown Rule, brought to you by Hustler Casino. And joining us on the championship hotline, Mario, this guy's been waiting for you.
The Desert Storm. I can't wait to talk to him. My man, Mr. Tim Bradley. How are you, sir?
Hey man, what's going on? Hell no, don't be clapping me in like that, damn it. I'm coming at you, Mario. Hey, I told you months ago, Mario, what was gonna happen. Man, I know you eating that crow. You better be eating that crow every damn day, bro. For real. You were wrong, and you know that. All the fans that was against me, they're for damn show. Yeah, now they sitting back and they saying, okay, maybe this guy, Tim Bradley, knows what the hell he's talking about. Maybe he's not as crazy as I thought he was. Yeah, Mario, I told you. Hey, couple things real quick, Mario. Couple things. All right? Let me get this out.
Let me know when I can talk.
There's 3 things, not 2. There's 3 things, okay? That you can't exit. All right? It's gonna happen. 1, you know what? Taxes gonna always be there for your ass. 2, death. 3, Terrence Crawford always whooping somebody's ass. I'm letting you know right there. Add that to the list.
Okay. Let me say my piece now. Number 1, full props and credit to you, my friend. You were absolutely right. I tip my hat to you. First of all, you've always known your stuff. It wasn't a matter of that. And like I prefaced before, I love me some Terrence Crawford. See, I combined you guys. I love me some Terrence Crawford. I just thought, and clearly I was wrong, because of the multiple weight jump and the inactivity, it would be too much for him to bite off. I honestly thought that. What I didn't factor in, and it was funny because I told Kim this, my wife was with me watching the fight, and right before they started a fight, she looks over to me, she goes, just innocently, and said, man, I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since I sang the national anthem for the Canelo Triple G fight. When she said that to me, I don't know why I thought, oh my God, that is a long time. I go, he could get old tonight. And sure enough, and I'm not. Hold on a second. Let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. I said he could get old tonight. Now, I'm not saying that by taking anything away from Crawford. My guy fought a brilliant fight. He carried the weight well. It looked like he hadn't skipped a beat due to the inactivity, and he looked strong as hell up there, being the naturally smaller man, and was able to carry it. Brilliant game plan. Full credit. At the same time, two things can be true. Crawford was brilliant, and Canelo did look like he got old. Both things can be true, and I say that because my guy didn't. He even said that physically he felt he wasn't able to get off anymore, capably. He wasn't capable of getting off anymore. I thought the Skull fight was an anomaly because it was a track meet. But no, sure enough, it wasn't like he just thought he was just going to let that fight sort of happen and be what it was, and he was just not going to jeopardize anything with a big payday with Crawford. There was some wear and tear, and I was thinking back, I'm like, my man has not, since probably the Caleb fight, or even before really the Billy Joe Saunders, he has not been the same Canelo of old. Long gone were the Canelo that threw fluid combinations, that was able to cut off the ring. He had 7 jabs, Tim, going into the 11th round. That's the statistic. 7 jabs. My guy could not go off. Again, I'm not discrediting Crawford, but I think both things can be true. Crawford was brilliant, and Canelo is a little long in the tooth and a lot more tread on those tires. He's been fighting since he was 15, even though he was technically the younger man. He's got like 300 more professional rounds than Crawford. So I think both things can be true. Don't look at me like that. Are you trying to argue with that being the case?
Oh, hold on. Let Tim, you are
No. Basically, what I'm trying to say is like you take all those excuses and you find the nearest trash can and dump all those excuses in that damn trash can.
By the way,
dump them all.
I should have said this. I should have ended with this. That's not saying even the Canelo or the Crawford would have faced the Canelo that fought the first Triple G, probably in his prime, right? That's prime. I'm not saying he would have not beat him. I'm just saying it probably would have been a little bit more competitive than it was, because I do feel the
corrosion.
No corrosion. No, but he beat him by so many rounds. Because it wasn't even as competitive as I thought it was going to be. It was a good fight, but it could have been, I think, a great fight and maybe closer had we had a little bit more of the Canelo, of the older Canelo. You know what I mean? I think Crawford pulled away so much.
But Mario, that's what I kept saying. The Skull fight is when I said, I see what Tim is saying.
No, I did see. No, Tim had a solid point, but at the same time, I thought I foolishly thought, oh, he just, he's not going to chase this dude. He doesn't want to ruin, you know what I mean? He's done chasing these dudes. They show for these paychecks and whatever. And I knew that wasn't going to be the case with Crawford. Again, I thought the inactivity and the weight was going to be too much. I was wrong. And I admit that. But with that said, and as brilliant as Crawford was, and he was, I do think Canelo, a little too much tread in those tires, and there's corrosion there. Do you not agree with that? Do you not agree with that?
Tim?
I'm giving you props, but do you not agree?
Listen to me.
Come on.
It's called, listen to me. You don't think it can be called the strength of schedule? You don't think that has anything to do with it? This dude hasn't fought anybody since Bivol. Think about that. No one since Bivol. He's been playing it safe. Strength of schedule. Think about that. Who did my boys just play? Was it Oregon just play?
Penn
Who
State.
did we just play?
Penn State.
Yeah. And we got a good win. Yeah. We were sitting pretty very low in the rankings. However, look, we need to play somebody that has some bones, right? And we beat them. Now we looking like real players. Now, I don't know if they're going to beat Ohio State. I don't think they're going to be able to play with them. I think they're going to go undefeated and going to win it all once again. However, you got to have some strength, bro. You got to fight some competition. He never fought anybody with an IQ as high as Crawford since Bivol, right? So he been handpicking these guys. He got comfortable in his style, right? And he brought the same style and the same way he been dominating all these other guys because he thought Terrence Crawford was small, and he got out-thought, he got out-fought, and he got out-boxed. Plain and simple. So, look, I understand the numbers. The numbers don't lie. I'll say this. The numbers don't lie. He has slowed down a bit, but that's just because of his style, the style that he puts forth in his previous fights, his recent fights, 5 fights. you can see the difference, man. He slowed down his punch count. He's being more patient, more economical with his shots, and that has to do with, a little bit of tread on his tires. However, it's just the style, man, that he's choosing to fight with now.
Well, we're essentially saying the same thing. Yeah, I honestly don't.
In a way.
Pardon me? In a way? No, wait.
In a way.
No, we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I foolishly, Tim.
In a way or in a way?
Not
in a way. In a way.
About him later.
In some sort of way.
Not in a way, the fighter. In some sort of way.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess foolishly thought that he wasn't deteriorating in front of my eyes. And I thought maybe he was just being a little more selective with his punches. And I think what confused me too is a lot of the fighters did not come like Crawford to win. It seemed like a lot of them came there to show up for the paycheck. But I don't know why it hit me when my wife told me that. I go, oh man, he's gonna look. And sure enough, when I was looking at the stats, he only threw 7 jabs. He's just trying to load up on one shot. You're never gonna beat Crawford that way. So I was like, oh my God.
Tim, here's the question. Do you think there's any need for a rematch? And
No.
if they make one,
I say no. I would say no right away.
I would say that. But do you think it becomes more lopsided should they fight again?
More lopsided. I'll even go even further. Crawford stops him in the rematch. Crawford will stop him in the rematch. I'm going to tell you something. Bomac and them had to hold him back, right? Bomac and Red and them, they had to hold him back. Crawford wanted to step on the gas sooner, but they were saying, no, man, hey, you box, take the safe route. Crawford wanted to put his flag in the ground and say, hey, I'm the best fighter in the world. He wanted to stop him. He listened to his corner. And the second time they fight, I promise you, Crawford's going to stop him before 10 rounds. Guarantee you he stops him if they were to fight.
I don't know about the stoppage because he still has he's got one of the best chins. He's got one of the best.
You ain't got to believe me. Don't believe me.
How can you laugh? Has he not proven that he's got one of the best chins? Now, hold on.
But the age, you just pointed that
that's
out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The age.
Don't even go there. Hey, Crawford is older than he is.
He's got.
He's talking about age.
Look, to use another analogy, Clayton Kershaw is the same age as about half the pitchers in the league, but he's got thousands of more innings and his arm's already shot. It's a damn thing. He's got hundreds of more rounds. You know this. I don't have to tell you.
Hey, Tim.
You know this. But here's the thing.
Oh, come on. Crawford been fighting since he's 7 years old. Had over 100 and something amateur fights. Canelo had a handful of fights? Stop it.
Fight. Come on, Tim. But here's the thing. Bottom line is, I don't think there needs to be a rematch. I don't think there really doesn't. It was a great fight. It was a fun event.
Oh, I think we agree on that.
And I don't think the public. I don't think we really need to see it.
No,
honestly.
No, I think we all agree on that. I'm just saying that there is talk of a rematch. Tim, to your point, I remember the Thursday night when they had that fight card at the hotel, the Fountain Blue. I talked to Red Spikes, and Harrison Whitman, and they both worked very closely with Terrence. They both said, Steve, one of them said, we're going to knock him out. The other one, Red, said, Steve, watch. They're going to be surprised by our power. To what? That's exactly in line with what Tim just told us, that they really thought that they could actually hurt Canelo. And I thought in the 11th and 12th, he started to armor a little bit more. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, I noticed too. He started to stand in that pocket and he was starting to exchange. Dude, I loved it. He was brilliant in that. But here's the bigger thing. And I wish it was a little bit more competitive to where we could have a rematch, because what I told Kim last week, I don't know if you heard the show, and I think the bigger issue is that, look, there were 72,000 people in that stadium. 50 million people watch it, and we would have had more if it wasn't so damn late. You know, it's coming out like 3 a.m. in the East Coast. But the thing about Canelo is, whatever you may feel about him, he was the box office star. He is the leading man there. As terrific and excellent as a fighter that Crawford is, I don't know if he necessarily fills in that box office role, and my guy's filling up that stadium with 72,000 people. I wish it was more competitive so we could have had a rematch. So then again, it keeps the sport elevated. I'm more concerned now for the sport. You need stars, and stars in the sport keep it going on. And that concerns me.
Mario, don't disrespect my guy Crawford like that. Canelo Alvarez got his biggest paycheck by facing Terrence Bud Crawford, and vice versa. Crawford got his biggest paycheck, and Canelo got his biggest paycheck, and they both helped sell that fight and get all those people in there. Not just Canelo. Don't just say that now. I'm telling you, Crawford. Hey, when Crawford fights, Omaha comes out. It be 20,000 plus people out in Omaha or even in Vegas. They come out, man. Crawford has sold out multiple stadiums. Even in New York, he sold out an arena out there, man. I think 20,000 plus. So, bro, I'm telling you, Crawford, don't sell him short like that. Crawford brings got a big fan base too, man.
Does, and I don't disagree with you, but there's levels to this stardom.
I get it. There's levels, but now Bud, I believe, should get the lion's share. It shouldn't be Canelo Alvarez. Bud should get the lion's share now.
Oscar women performance was from Terrence Bud Crawford. I did not take that away.
I did not dispute that. I was talking on him on the other spec. I'm talking about the health of the sport. Because we do
exactly.
What we discussed.
We'll discuss this a little later surrounding another fighter, Tim. I don't think anyone was more vindicated as a pundit than Tim Bradley. I mean, you really stepped out there on this particular fight. Here's my question. As a historian, what do you think is the more impactful, important victory for the legacy of Bud Crawford, Spence or Canelo?
Canelo.
Can we say both? I would say, to be honest with you, I would say the Canelo fight. The Canelo fight, because everything that Bud had to go through, right? It was two weight divisions. It was being out of the ring for an entire year. You're facing against the biggest cash cow in boxing, Canelo Alvarez, who has reigned at 168 pounds for, I think, 4 or 5 years, the undisputed champion. I mean, there was a lot at stake for Crawford, man. I would have to say that was probably the biggest win of his career. The most defining part of his career, because you can't say anything now. I hear so many excuses, and you're talking about age of Canelo and this and that. And no, man, come on. You already knew Crawford was at a disadvantage going into the fight. Everybody kept talking about that fight with Madrimov. And I keep telling people, styles make fights. I understand what happened in that Madrimov fight. I get it. Oh, I forgot to mention, don't forget about the shoulder as well. He had shoulder surgery early in the year, right? So he had to deal with that too. Built up his body, then finally get inside that ring and dominate Canelo Alvarez in that fashion, man. You got to give it to Crawford, man, period. Let's not make excuses for Canelo, man. Give it to Crawford. I would say that's the fight right there, Steve. That's the fight.
I agree with you with the Canelo thing. And again, I'm not making excuses, but I do believe both things can be true. And I say that because I don't know if we see Canelo at that level competitively again. Honestly, I don't think he beats Crawford again. Okay. I don't think he goes up to 75 and he's not going to beat Benavidez, Bivol, or Beterbiev. He's not going back down to 60. So who? Well, maybe the British cat. Who's the British cat? Eubanks could be another big fight.
I think there's a chance of him going on some sort of world tour retirement thing. Tim, as it relates to
and he can do that because of the box office star he is.
Fine.
I know, but listen,
you're not getting a piece of
it. I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying, look, when there's stars, the whole sport does better, Kim. You know that.
Right.
When there's stars, the whole sport does better. Am I right?
He's carried the game long enough.
That's
he can walk away. But
that's what I'm saying.
But Tim, as it relates to Bud, would you like to see him fight on or just retire? Because he's reached Mount Everest now.
That's up to him. I mean, to be honest with you, it's up to him. I mean, look, if I was Bud, I made enough money now, I would sell off, with the biggest win of his career. But Bud still like he wants more, man. Sometimes when you get and you do something that many people didn't think you did and you were able to succeed, it's like it starts to become like an adrenaline junkie. You look for more and more highs, right? You start to look for more and more highs. Well, you thought that was the highest. Now I think Bud want to reach even higher and want to test his abilities against someone else, or maybe even accomplish a 160 undisputed championship. That's what I've been hearing as of late.
Funny, because that's exactly what I was going to say. And I talked to Bud afterwards and stuff. Like, obviously, and I don't know why Coppinger and Kriegel and those guys are trying to tell me, got to retire, end on this note. I said, look, he still looked great. He didn't look like he slipped at all. As a matter of fact, he's looked better than ever. I said he looks healthy. He's strong. He's obviously had this huge payday. He can parlay it into another big payday, maybe not as much, but another good, healthy, great payday. I would love, just like you said, if he is going to continue, which he doesn't have to, but if he does and wants to, I would love to see him unify 160, maybe fight like Janabek. And if he were to do that, then I think that's a great sail off into the sunset moment if he wants to continue. And also, I think if he were to do that, then you got to put, in my mind, he goes higher than Mayweather as far as
top 10 all time.
And then as far as generational talents, what do you think, Tim?
Look, I think Crawford skill is legendary, period. I think his accolades are as unprecedented. Not many people have been able to accomplish that. I think Henry Armstrong was one of those guys that held all 3 titles simultaneously, in 3 different weight classes. But I mean, as far as skill go, I'm telling you guys, when I first sparred him, I've never, ever been in the ring with someone more complete than a Bud Crawford. I've been shared the ring with freaking Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao does not have the skills that Bud Crawford has. Now, he has different abilities. Yeah, that makes him great, speed and power and his footwork, but he couldn't do everything that Bud did and was able to do against me. So, being that skillful, I mean, I could put Bud in the ring with any of the old school legends, and I will never see these fights, and I'm speculating because I'm just thinking about it, and I'm just saying, what can't he do? He has the size. He has a 75-inch reach. He has punching power, hand speed. He has an IQ that's unbelievable. He can fight inside the pocket. You've seen him in spots fight Canelo in the pocket where Canelo wanted to be, and he beat him in his own game. So he can move. He has great legs, great reflexes. He has a great chin. I mean, there's nothing that Crawford doesn't have. And also the intangibles too. This dude has toughness. He's mean as hell, killer instinct. He's an excellent finisher. He's a complete fighter, man. He's the most complete fighter that I've ever seen in real life, man. And maybe one of the most complete fighters of all time. And let me say one more thing. Let me finish with this. And he can do it from both sides.
Exactly. No, the best ambidextrous fighter ever. Honestly, I said that earlier. And I want to go back to the Mayweather thing because a bunch of people were asking me who would win if they fought in their prime. And I thought about it and I said, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I said, 130, 135, it's kind of hard to go against Mayweather if they were to win. But 140, 147, I like Bud. What do you think, Tim?
Bud beats Mayweather in any era. 130, 135, 140, 147, whatever it is. Mayweather would have never done what Bud did. Mayweather didn't have the balls to do what Bud did. He brought Canelo down 152 pounds, put a weight clause in there. You can't weigh over this the day of. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, it's a different mentality.
I agree. But
Terrence Crawford, he don't want to hear no excuses. He gonna fight you at the weight you are. That's what it is, and that's the way it should be. He gonna beat you at your absolute best. He not gonna put any stipulations in no contract. And so I'll tell you this: Crawford beats Mayweather 9 times out of 10. Mayweather, please come back and do an exhibition with Terrence Crawford. Please give us that look, please. And I promise you, he ain't gonna be able to do nothing against Crawford.
Tim said, we had this discussion about 4 years ago when he first said it. Tim said it best. He goes, Steve, look at the box rec, the record of Mayweather. Tell me who Crawford doesn't beat. And I said, wow, you know what's funny? I don't think Crawford needed 2 opportunities or 2 chances to really beat Jose Luis Castillo. Mm-hmm. I was at that first fight. I thought Castillo won it not handily, but clearly.
So did I. So did Harold Letterman, and so did the HBO crew.
So
you're exactly right. No, look, I've always thought that too. And then I started looking at old things. I was like, fuck, Mayweather was pretty bad.
At 30 and 35, he lost spec.
It was pretty bad. But waiting super fast. But with that said, Crawford's so good at adjusting and adapting and figuring it out. And he's got that dog in him too.
Hello. Yeah. And he punches harder. And we know Mayweather doesn't like southpaws. He hates them. And you saw him when he fought against Zab Judah. First half of the fight was Zab's. And he came on late. Zab didn't have the stamina that a Bud Crawford has. And he doesn't make adjustments like a Bud Crawford. And, he's not as long and have that reach and have that boxing ability. And, again, having that photographic memory. He doesn't have any of that stuff. But guess who does? Bud Crawford. Man, I think Bud Crawford might even stop Mayweather if they were to fight.
Ooh, man.
That's how far I'll go. He'll even stop Mayweather. Mayweather has a 72-inch reach. Most of the guys that he faced, they have a small reach. Mayweather wouldn't even fight against Margarito. He wouldn't even touch Margarito, bro, because he was too big and too aggressive. All Crawford has to do is be aggressive and go hunt Mayweather down, and he can do that too. That's all he got to do.
Crawford's reach?
75.
Wow, so it is significantly better. Let me ask you this. Don't you think that Janabek at 160 would be the most competitive fight for him, though?
Janabek would be the most competitive fight for him, absolutely.
Yeah.
A southpaw with speed and power, great ring IQ, good legs, strong puncher. Yeah, absolutely. He would be a dangerous guy. He's a 6 foot freaking middleweight. Yeah, no joke with speed and punching power. Absolutely. That's a tough fight. But is it the most marketable fight? No.
No, it just doesn't. I agree. But
there's no marketable middleweight out there.
There's
though.
no marketable middleweight out there. And so you might as well try to make history.
Right.
And just selfishly, I would love to see that fight.
I believe that Janabek would be his most underrated victory. I don't care what anyone else thinks.
Absolutely.
I know how good that guy is.
Absolutely.
Tim, before we turn the page on the whole Terrence Crawford discussion, who are your top 5 fighters in the world right now, pound for pound?
Bud Crawford, Usyk, Inoue, Bivol, Bam Rodriguez. I can switch Bam Rodriguez and Shakur Stevenson. I can go back and forth with those two guys. Right now, I got Bam, but I see Shakur, if he beats Teofimo Lopez, moving up in that spot. But, yeah, that's my top 5 right now.
I agree with all those. One thing, though, I still kind of am conflicted with is is it me or was Beterbiev? I thought he won the first one. I thought the second one was damn close, and it could have gone either way.
Yeah, but
do you think that, Tim?
Well,
and I know he's older and he's like 40, but like I'm talking about the Beterbiev Bivol fight.
Yeah, well, Beterbiev top 6 or 7. Him and Bivol are listed right next to each other still.
Hairs right there. They're splitting hairs.
No, I had to just let the judges had it. Both ways. I mean, as far as the scores, a little different, but I thought the judges got it right. I thought that Bivol closed the show. I thought he weathered the storm early, he had a brilliant game plan, a great strategy, and he allowed Beterbiev to kind of, overwork. And then he drowned him in the end, man. He came on real strong and was letting vicious combinations on the back end of the fight and took the championship rounds too. And he won the second fight, I thought, with ease.
Oh, well, right now, Bivol's he had shoulder surgery. So Beterbiev is fighting November 22nd, a tune-up fight. And we're not sure what's going to happen with Bivol. There's actually talk of Beterbiev against Benavidez early next year.
I like that.
But we could talk about that some other time. Tim, real quickly, before we get to Tank Davis, did you like the performance of Inoue against Akhmadaliev? I thought it was a really technically sound performance out there a couple of weeks ago.
Man, that's crazy. That happened the next day, early morning, like 4 a.m. in the morning, man, the next day. And it kind of got like really overshadowed by Canelo-Crawford, man. But that was a fight that everybody was looking forward to. And no one was really buzzing about it at all because they were just, worried about Crawford and Canelo. But, man, he put on a clinic. You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, the one thing that I saw with MJ, I just thought that he was a little bit too respectful, early on. He got in that kind of that mindset where he got comfortable. I always say when you're traveling to different countries and stuff, especially when you're traveling over there to Japan, man, those people are very nice, very respectful, man. You can get persuaded into feeling some type of way, man, over there. And I think that kind of messed with him, his mentality going into the fight. And that's not an excuse, but, it showed. He didn't seem like he was a lot of urgency in his game plan at all. He's a good boxer. He's tend to be a slow starter and pick it up. But in a way, man, that blazing speed, that movement, he had nothing for it, man. So that's just God-given talent from Inoue, man. Sometimes guys are just better athletes. It doesn't matter how hard you train. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. Like I said, I had skill when I fought Manny Pacquiao, but he was just a better freaking athlete all the way around, man, and it showed.
Tim, obviously a lot of talk, and you've done some very interesting videos surrounding the curious case of Gervonta Tank Davis. I know you're not a big fan of that fight against Jake Paul. I don't think any of us are. Oh, yeah, I know he's not. Here's my question, though. But he caused a firestorm on Friday, Mario, when he basically said, boxing is dead. I'm out for myself. Isn't this like the reality is this? He's doing this for money.
Well,
Should he be guilty about it?
Well, hold on a second. Let me just voice something before Tim answers right here. I always tell Kim that I don't mind a circus. I like fun, novelty fights. Like when Mayweather fought Conor, I was like, hey, that's cool. Top of the MMA guy, top of boxing. They're about the same size. It's fun. Let's see what happens. Bro, when you get a dude 6 inches taller, 80 some odd pounds heavier, now it's like, now it's a joke. Now it's like literally a circus party. It's like, come on, we can't buy into this. If they would have fought, to someone more his size, I'm all for these events, but you can't have such a physical mismatch where it's like, you're asking me to suspend reality. You know what I mean?
Tim?
Wee Man and Bigfoot. Hey, man, check this out, bro. Look. I feel like, okay, of course. I know where you're going to go, Steve, so I'm going to beat you to it. You have a choice, Tim. You have a choice. Yes. However, I think Tank had no choice, man. I personally think he had no choice. I think this was lined up way before the first Rhodes fight. They had a vision. They wanted Canelo to do this fight, which is real. Canelo said no. Turkey Al-Sheikh pulled him away. He did the Crawford fight, but PBC wanted Canelo to have this fight with Jake Paul, right? You remember that, right? Now, who other does PBC have that can make them money? Because you already know PBC is bleeding out. They bleeding out, man, on Amazon. They got to pay for every single show. So they need that return, right? Right? So with that being said, I'll just say this. He has to do this fight. Yeah, it's going to benefit his pockets, absolutely. But it's also going to benefit the company that he's affiliated with, which is PBC, that he's been loyal to for many years. A lot of guys jump ship and they go with Turkey Al-Sheikh and stuff, and I ain't knocking them for that. They getting their money. He's sticking by his people and Al Heyman. He's going to do this fight. I'm hearing possibly retirement after. However, I mean, look, man, it's a circus. Yes, it is. But as of right now, he's liable to do this for many reasons. One, himself, and also to help PBC stay afloat. So with that being said, I'm not even mad at him, man. Do what you got to do. However, after this fight, we going to see what you're going to do. If you're going to retire, cool. You can retire. However, if you stay involved in boxing, we want to see you do that rematch with Roach. We want to see you in the ring with Shakur Stevenson. We want to see all these great fights that are sitting there for you. Tank Davis.
Tim, you know what he'd tell you? Sit down and be a fan. That's what he would say. That's what he said last week.
His response to the fans is disappointing. But I want just to go back to Jake Paul for a second, who desperately wants to be taken seriously. My guy called out Anthony Joshua and Tank Davis in the same breath.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, what is happening? As I'm looking, I'm like, what the fuck is happening as I'm listening to this?
Versatile. Armstrong. He can fight at any weight.
Oh, but that's so crazy.
Tim, did when you were a fighter, because I wrote my column today about how, look, fighters say we do it for your entertainment. No, you don't. You do it for a profession. You wouldn't do it for free, and I don't expect you to. Every job I do, I want to get paid. I don't do any job for fun. You know what's fun? Getting compensated. A lot, hopefully. Okay? The other thing is, we should do it and care for our legacy. Fighters are right when they say legacy does not pay the bills. That's the truth. So, Tim, what did you think of my thesis that, hey, you guys do what you do and fans can do what we do. We can choose to support what we want, and boxers can do what they choose to do with their careers. Is that completely out of line?
No, I don't think that's out of line. I think that makes sense. I think you're respecting both sides, right? I think that fighters should do what they need to do. However, fans, they want to see the best fight the best, man. It's all about, that's what sports about, right? That's what they're about. They're about the best fighting the best. And when a fighter's not fighting the best guys out there, the fans are going to complain about it, man. And that's the issue. Turkey Al-Sheikh has come on board, and we've gotten some fights that we probably would never see, which is great for boxing. That Benavidez, that Beterbiev and Bivol fight. We had 2 installments of that. You had the Fury Usyk. We had 2 installments of that, man. I mean, those fights would have probably never gotten made, if the money wasn't right. But as far as when it comes to a Tank Davis, because that's what you're probably alluding to, I'm sure. Tank Davis, man. Tank Davis now, I think, is, again, put in this spot to make money for PBC. But at the same time, I would say he's going to make money for himself because that's what's going to pay more. He wanted more money before he fought Roach, the rematch. They couldn't give that to him. So this is the only other option for a Tank Davis who's been their draw at PBC.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's disappointing. When I was going back to box office draws and we need stars in the sport, Tank was a star, and Tank had a loyal following.
Yeah.
It was rude. It's just, it's so disappointing. Another fight, again, Circus fight, I liked a lot. The Joshua Ngannou fight. You had two big dudes that looked like that was just a fun. I know it was a circus, but it was at least fun to watch.
But Mario,
but at least physically, it didn't look like a mismatch.
You talk about star power and being marketable. To your point, to play devil's advocate or Tank's advocate, I would say the fight with Jake Paul will probably be the largest audience Tank will ever be in front of.
I'm not.
Right?
People love car wrecks, bro. People love circuses, of course. But what I'm saying is, it's just a tough buy.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a tough buy to be taken seriously. Like the Mayweather Conor one, it was fun. You know, it was like, ooh, I wonder what's gonna. Even though Mayweather.
What about Mayweather Tyson?
Or Ngannou Joshua, that was fun
All
too.
right, Tim, what are your thoughts on Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson? Speaking of circus acts,
I actually look. Just put it this way, I respect that more than I respected Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Ooh.
And I only respect it more is because you got two guys that have been long boxers for many years. Did it at a very young age, paid their dues, and both of them are going to get in there and they're going to share the ring and make some money. Jake Paul, on the other hand, is 5 years in the game. Disney, social media darling, or whatever you want to call it, build his fan base that way. And now he's taking advantage of that in the game of boxing or in the sport of boxing by, lining himself with other stars in the game and making major money. And that's fine. But don't be talking about you are this and you top that and this and all that. I don't want to hear none of that, man. Like, you can do what you do, but don't be talking about you a world champion and you're going to be this one day, because you're not. That's not what you're showing, right? That's not what you're showing. What you're displaying inside the ring, the fighters that you choose, and think about this. You're fighting a 135-pounder, dude. That's what you're fighting, a 135-pounder, bro. Fight somebody your size. And when you did fight somebody your size in Tommy Fury, you got your behind whooped. You got beat.
You're exactly. No, I 100% right there. And the difference, too, the thing with Tyson and Mayweather, is like you said, legends in the sport, most importantly, they're retired.
Yes.
Thank you. Jake Paul, the crazy irony here is, just like you said, he wants to be taken serious. If you start questioning him, motherfucker wants to sue you, okay? He's threatening literally to sue you, and yet you're fighting a guy 80 to 90 pounds smaller than you. Like, what is happening?
All right.
Jake Paul's a bozo. Straight up clown.
Yeah.
Get out of the game, bro. Seriously, stop hiding behind those women. Stop hiding behind that promotion, bro. You are not as good as you think you are. Step in there with a real top 10 fighter, man. A real top 10 fighter, and earn your way to a championship. Don't buy your way to a championship.
A top 50 fighter.
Okay, well, he did that with Tommy. Well, Tommy's like top 100.
That's what I'm saying.
Tom, will you watch that fight on that night?
No, I thought I was, but I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
All right, Tim, we got to let you go here, but I want to ask you.
You're gonna let him go?
Well, you got to get moving. I got to get moving.
Yeah, I want his thoughts really quick on it. It hasn't been made official yet, but it looks inevitable. Shakur and Teofimo. I was so excited when I heard about this fight. But then after I thought about it, I'm like, number one, we don't know what Teofimo we're going to get. Yes, he does seem to step up when it comes to the big fights, but we don't know. But if Shakur's locked in, then I see him stinking out the joint, jabbing and doing his thing to win. And so I don't know how aesthetically pleasing that will be. Am I wrong, Tim?
No, you're not wrong. Not at all. I think you nailed the nail on the head, man. I mean, yeah. I think that stylistically both guys are counterpunchers. I think that when Lopez has to come forward, that's when he looks his absolute worst. I think Lopez does better off his back foot when he's luring people in and countering and exploding with offense. Shakur can do both, but Shakur will play it cautious depending on how hard you punch, and I've seen this fight before. I've seen it back when he fought against Patufo Diaz. It's similar in style. Patufo Diaz is kind of explosive, explodes in with combination, big hooks, looping right hands, and it was easy for Shakur. I see this fight being easy for Shakur. I would say 8 rounds to 4, maybe even 9 rounds. Yeah, 9 rounds to 3. Yeah, I see an easy fight for Shakur. I don't see this fight being very challenging for him whatsoever.
I thought about it. That's the kind of the conclusion I came to. What baffles me still, and I don't know if this changes your opinion, if Teofimo would have fought Devin Haney when offered, especially based on the last performance Devin Haney and both of them had, he would have had another fight under his belt. Maybe would have seen, you know what I mean, that much more confidence, that much more activity. Would it have played a factor?
Well, hold on. To that question,
you know what I mean?
2 words, Sandor Martin. Speaking of seeing a fight again, I mean, Tim called that fight, and I'm still not sure Teofimo won that fight, to be honest with you.
Or the Ortiz fight. And Ortiz fought him from the southpaw stance too.
Boy, this looks all bad, and we'll talk about that in another visit. Tim, final question. You've had a lot of weekends off. Are you bored yet, and have you thought about your future post-ESPN?
Nah, not really, man. I'm not bored. I mean, you saw what's going on with TKO and where they're heading. They're heading to Paramount. There's still some hope that ESPN will get back into boxing within the next few months. Anything can change, guys. But no, I'm not getting bored, man. I spend time with my kids and my family. You know me. I'm always talking to you, Steve, through text and we communicate. I'm always at soccer with my kids, and I don't mind that at all. I love it. I enjoy my family time and, doing a little writing for .com, ESPN.com, and then just trying to build my my YouTube channel. It's starting to grow. It's starting to grow abruptly now, man. It's starting to pick up. So, and it's just me and my cell phone. Just me and my cell phone. None of this high-tech stuff, none of all that. It's just me and my cell phone in your face, with a little new bravado, new little image of myself. But I'm having fun though, man, with the time off.
All right. Well, Tim, as always, great to join you. And boy, you brought the heat as promised.
Good for
you put
Tim.
the grill on this guy.
No excuses, man. No excuses. Send them in the trash can, my friend.
All right.
I appreciate y'all, man. Love. Hey, Mario, it ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love, big dog. And Steve, you already know how I feel about you. I fucking hate you. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
The 3 Knockdown Rule brought to you by Hustler Casino.
Peace.
On the 3 Knockdown Rule brought to you by Hustler Casino. And folks, are you looking to get involved with the 3 Knockdown Rule and sponsor our show? We have some spots available. Please email us at info@boxbid.io. Once again, that's info@boxbid.io. Boxbid is an online platform that helps professional boxers connect with their fans by providing exclusive Fight Week merchandise, memorabilia, and sponsorships. You can even buy a shout out on Boxbid. Boxbid.io handles our sponsorships, and we are proudly working with them.
Final flurries.
Mario, Tim Bradley and you, now that's a battle. That's a legendary night right there. You two go back and forth like Hearns Hagler.
I love me some Tim. We're pretty much on the same page. Yeah. He just gets very passionate about it.
Well, so do you. Well, so do you.
Well, I do because, hey, listen, I'm man enough to admit, hey, you know what? Yeah. You were right, but I do believe 2 things can be true at the same time. And I'm really curious to see what Crawford does next. Curious to see what Canelo does next. And a lot of fun fights right now in the pipeline.
But so always great to have Tim Bradley, one of our favorites.
He's the best.
Tim, excuse me, Mario, what was Friday night? By the way, landmark achievement, not for your daughter, but for me, my first Q. Never been to one before.
That was your first quinceañera, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, your first. What'd you guys think?
Well, I'm glad I got there.
Great time.
So when the invite you sent, the RSVP, I looked up the address of the hotel rooms that you were getting for your out-of-town guests.
Correct.
So I take the Uber, and I'm thinking, wow, Embassy Suites. Very nice.
Why did you go there? You're in town.
Right. No, but I took the wrong invite instead of the one with the Metropole.
There were 2 inserts. He took the one, and he went to an empty ballroom.
So I go to the lobby, and I go, hey, where's your conference rooms? Oh, second floor. So I walk up there. opening up every ballroom. They're all empty. And I'm like, what the
Oh, my God. You had a whole adventure.
And I'm thinking, Mario spent a lot of money for this. I can't see it. So I get downstairs and I called Tim. I said, Tim, am I at the right place? He said, Steve, you're at the hotel where all the out-of-town guests are. So I had to take another Uber, and I'm driving up the Metropole, and I see the security guards. I go, see it. Yeah, so I got there.
I can't believe it. No wonder you were so late right there. But it was a fun time, right?
It was a very good time. By the way, the hors d'oeuvres, top notch.
All the food.
Dude, the food was really good.
Yeah, you paid good for that.
You know, we went through 9 cases of tequila.
That makes sense.
9 cases.
Blanket had about 7 by himself.
Oh my gosh, people were tore up. Not to mention the vodka and the bourbon and all that. But yeah, it was a great day. My daughter had a lot of fun, and you know, it's one of those. It's like a wedding without a groom. You could tell by my voice. I mean, we just drank and partied that whole night, and then I had family in town. They came over the next day. Typical Mexicans, drank the whole day and hung out again. That's when my voice is still shot. And Sunday, I needed a good 2 or 3 days. You can't just have one day to recoup.
Now, I didn't know this. So Gia and her crew of friends did like a dance routine. Very solid. I was like, that's good. They must have practiced that. Then you got out there and you cut the rug looking like Kid and Play.
Did you like that I went slow dance into the fast dance?
Well, you did. You were doing some Running Man, some RoboCop, the Roger Rabbit. So how much did you practice that?
We practiced a few times because my daughter is a perfectionist, so it ended
pretty
up.
Good.
Yeah, and you know what? I forgot. I was getting a little buzz, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I still got to dance." So I better
you cut the rug.
Cut it up.
You cut the rug.
Mario, I told Mario, I was like, "You did really good at that," and he's like, "Did I do it? I was pretty buzzed. I don't know."
No,
it was good.
So Mario, as you're going through this whole night, was it hard not to get sentimental? Do you like relive your moments with her as a child, growing up, first day of school?
Yeah, a little bit. You get a little, it makes you feel old, right? Because she's getting older, and you get a little sentimental, but it's nice to see all the family come together and to see her. And
I saw Kaylee, your brother-in-law, great guy. I hadn't seen him in a while.
Yeah, it was a lot to see everybody just to come together. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, I don't have to do this again until she gets married. So that was nice.
So, by the way, I saw your dad for the first time in a while. He's never not having a good time. He's
Dude, he had 2 pinky rings. Yeah. And then 2 rings.
He was showing me all the rings. Yeah. And they're amazing.
The rings, the chains, the shirt open, the alligator boots.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
Yes. Yes.
So, Mario, in a Latin family, so that's for a young lady's 15th or 16th?
15th birthday.
All right. Do the young men get anything?
No, they get nothing. And thank God. Because I wouldn't be able to, afford all that for 2 more boys.
But anyway,
right
congratulations.
There.
A lot of fun on that Friday.
And thank you for the invite.
You got it.
Thank you
Glad
for the
you guys
invite.
came. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I got good pictures too, so I'll get you the next pictures. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's it for this week's edition of the 3 Knockdown Rule, brought to you by Hustler Casino. On behalf of Mario Lopez, Smoke, and Tim Frazier, this is Steve Kim saying goodbye, everybody.